Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a Cassie, and I'm admitting it. It's really not. It's not funny at all, actually. Lips end up colliding, and we start making out. Hello babes, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. And if you are new, girl, what's up? Where have you been at? My name is Dakota. I make a ton of content on this channel, and today is everybody's favorite, and it's story time. So go ahead and get your drinks, get your snacks, get your popcorn, get a notepad on what not to do, how to not be a Cassie, okay? We don't need that. We don't need Cassie vibes. We don't need to be a Cassie. I don't know. Let me just say, this story is not going to paint me in the best light, and that's okay, and here's why. I have done about 37 story times on this channel thus far. I have a story time playlist in the link in my bio if you want to go check it out. And all those stories have basically been about how people have done me wrong, how my boyfriends have cheated on me, lied to me, manipulated me, friends have dated like my boyfriend, screwed me over, and things like that. And I'm just here to say that I am no angel either, okay? Just because bad things have been done to me doesn't mean that I have never been a bad friend, doesn't ever mean that I have been a bad girlfriend, doesn't mean that I have never been a bad person, honestly. And I feel like when you're a teenager, you're supposed to make mistakes like this. That way when you go into your future as an adult, you don't repeat those same mistakes, you know? Like, if you're not making mistakes, you're not really learning, right? And this story is literally no different. This is the time where I was a Cassie, okay? Like Cassie with a capital C.
I can trust you. I know it does.
To my friend in high school, deeply regret it, wish I didn't do it, but at the end of the day I did. So don't forget to subscribe before this story starts. I had like literally 4 comments in my last video being like, I've been watching Dakota for a year now and I just realized that I'm not subscribed. Please make sure that you guys are subscribed. Please make sure that you like the video, and please make sure you leave a comment down below as well. And without further ado, let's get on to this ratchet story time. If you guys don't know, I have a playlist on my channel called High School Horror Series. You guys have been loving it, eating it up lately, and I love making them. It's so funny to just look back and reminisce on stupid things that I did in high school, and this story is going to be no different. This story is going to actually take place 8th grade really quick, because what I do want to say, I'm not saying what I did was right, but I am going to say that this man was mine first, okay? Technically, it was only for 2 weeks, which is why it doesn't make it okay, but let me just explain. So, for the sake of the story, we're going to call the boy Nate, and we're going to call my best friend Maddie, okay? Nate and I met in 8th grade. If you guys don't know, if you're new here, I used to live in Connecticut. I do now currently, but when I was in 7th grade, the end of my 7th grade year, me and my mom packed up our whole entire lives and moved to New Jersey to go be with her new mans, okay? I got a new stepbrother, I got a new stepdad. It was a whole shebang. Go and watch the other videos so you are caught up thus far. But basically what had happened was I had just started out my 8th grade year. I was the new girl. I was like super nervous. I already had really bad social anxiety. I was afraid I wasn't going to make friends, and it was just like a really crazy time in my life, right? So upon entering this town, I ended up meeting Elijah. If you guys don't know who Elijah is the guy in my last story time. It's called my bullying story time part 1 and 2. Basically what happened was I met this kid Elijah. We became pretty good friends. I became good friends with his friend group, and then I didn't want to be with him because I had just moved to the town. I was trying to get my feet wet, trying to learn the ins and outs of this new small ass town, and I didn't want to be with him. And then I ended up getting a new boyfriend. I told you guys in my last story, a couple story times ago, that I ended up getting a new boyfriend. Elijah ended up hating me, making the whole school hate me. This is the boyfriend I was talking about. So to describe Nate in the best light, he was a tiny little guy. He was a little guy. He was like super into wrestling, and so when you do wrestling, you have to do something called like cutting, which basically means that you don't eat for like a day, you don't drink water, nothing. Like, you literally deplete your whole entire body so you can make weight goals on the day of wrestling, so that way when you are wrestling your opponent, you guys are the same weight and it's fair. Nate was definitely an athlete. He didn't play like football. I think he actually played football when we were in 8th grade, but not when we went to high school. So yeah, he played football and things like that, and he actually ended up breaking his arm. And the reason why I'm laughing is because I had gotten with Nate Nate basically just texted me one day and was like, will you be my girlfriend?
Will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my girlfriend?
And I was like, yeah. We barely knew each other, barely spoke 2 words. And like I say in all my story times, when I was younger, I was very shy. I was very prude. I would have boyfriends, but like I wouldn't talk to them basically. Like I just was like super awkward. And that's just how I was when I was younger. I just like, I wanted to be in a relationship. Like I didn't want to talk to them. Like I mean, boys just made me so fucking nervous, right? So basically, he asked me to be his girlfriend over text. I said yes. Word got around to Elijah. Elijah started hating me. Cool. You need to go watch that story time because I'm not going to have time to explain it in this one, or we'd be here for 5 hours. Basically, me and Nate start dating, and like there was times where we would like sit at lunch together and we would like walk to class together, but like I didn't really like him. Like, like it sounds weird, but like I liked him, but like I didn't at the same time. I just didn't feel like we were very like compatible at that time. I also just like did not want a boyfriend. I was just super nervous. I was like, girl, you need to get together and not be nervous before you start dating men, because like who wants a girlfriend that doesn't want to talk to them? Like literally, you know? Like he would literally save me like seats to sit with him at lunch, and like I would not sit with him because I was just like, oh my god, this is so weird. So anyway, he ended up breaking his arm, and the day before he broke his arm, I was going to break up with him. And then when he broke his arm, I was like, I can't break up with him. Like he just broke his fucking arm. Like I literally remember my friends being like, Dakota, don't you dare just stay with him because he broke his arm. Like that is fucked up. But I did.
And you would do it too for a check.
Let me just say, at one point in time, this time that I'm talking about, Nate was really sweet. He was a really sweet guy. He was really, really nice, really good. And he just wanted love. Like he was a really, really sweet boy. And so basically because of this, I knew that it wasn't fair for me to stay with him, even though I didn't like him that much. So I ended up breaking up with him, okay? That was in 8th grade. Now, fast forward almost a year and some change later, we are in our freshman year of high school. Up until this point, I had been up and down with like friends, basically trying to figure out who I am, trying to figure out my life and my identity, because we all know like we seek identity within like our friends in high school basically. And me and this girl were friends, and we're gonna call her Maddie because like I said, we're doing Euphoria vibes. Maddie was from a town called Riverdale. So the town that I was in was called Pompton Lakes, okay? So here's Pompton Lakes, here's Riverdale. When you were in middle school, the Riverdale kids had their own middle school. The Pompton kids had their own middle school. But in the middle, there was one high school that all the kids from Riverdale went to and all the kids from Pompton went to. They kind of like conjoined in high school because like the towns were small enough, you know? So we all started going to high school together. So people from Riverdale came in, people from Pompton came in, and we all just kind of conjoined and did the shit, you know, got through our freshman year. Now, spring of freshman year, I want to say it was actually maybe this time around that year, or like April or May, I started to connect with this girl named Maddie. Now, Maddie and I were on the same cheerleading team, and we were like kind of friends in 8th grade too, but we weren't like the best of friends. But we were like cool, you know, like we'd hang out once in a while, I'd go to her house, sometimes she'd come to mine, or we would get like food together or things like that. But the middle to end of our freshman year, we got really, really close. I was over her house all the time. I got to know like her whole entire family, her brothers, her little sister. Like I got to know them really, really well. And also we just started to develop like a really good friendship. We'd go out to dinner all the time. We'd eat lunch because we had the same lunch period together, and we were on the same cheerleading team as well. Now during this time, cheerleading season was over, but it was going to start again within a couple of months. So we just became really, really close. I liked Maddie a lot. She definitely was one of those girls that like didn't take shit from anybody, and I really respected that about her. She was just like really cool. She was a really chill girl, and we got along super well. Now, right before me and Maddie started to get close, she actually started to date Nate. Now, let me also say Nate was not popular, okay? He was not popular in 8th grade. He was not popular like going into freshman year at all. He had a completely different friend group from Maddie. Maddie was actually friends with those girls that I was talking about in my last story time. Remember how I was saying the girl group that Elijah was a part of? So there was this girl group within my grade, and Elijah, the kid who bullied me and tried to ruin my life, was in that group. Maddie congregated into that group slowly but surely freshman year. And she was also good friends with, I don't remember what I named her. Remember the story that was called Sleeping with Her Man, where I said Alicia Cassandra slept with this girl's man that was like her really good friend? That girl. She was also, I don't remember what I named her, but she was also really, really good friends with Maddie as well. I just have to watch the past story times, otherwise they're not gonna make sense. So basically she was really good friends also with this girl group. So my freshman year, because I was hanging out with Maddie, I kind of got like back in with them because after 8th grade I kind of like distanced myself from them. I wasn't really friends with them. I was like cool with Elijah, but we weren't like friends or anything. But because I was hanging out with Maddie, I was kind of like slowly but surely like getting invited to parties with them, or getting invited to like outings with them, or we'd go to like games together, like, or we'd like hang out at practice, like little things like that. But I was definitely like kind of like on the outside. I wasn't like in, but I was associated, if that makes sense. So because Maddie was really associated with this group, she was pretty much considered popular, you know, because that was the popular group within our grade. A lot of girls in that grade had sisters and you know, like that were like seniors and juniors and stuff like that, so they got invited to all the parties, things like that. So basically when her and Nate started to get into a relationship, obviously she was bringing Nate to parties, she was bringing Nate around if they went out somewhere, and so Nate kind of got in with that group too. Just so weird how they got together, because Nate was in a completely different friend group. I don't know how they got together or why. Like when they got together, people were definitely like,
what the like, I don't understand.
But they seemed to work okay. They seemed to be happy. So anyway, I didn't care because me and him only dated for like 2 weeks. Does that even count? Does that even count, you know? Anyway, time goes on and I'm hanging out with Maddie a lot, and then sometimes when I would hang out with Maddie, Nate would actually come by and he would hang out with us. We would like order pizza and watch movies and stuff and just hang out with her family. Sometimes like I said, that girl from Slept With Her Man, I basically have this story time and it's called Sleeping With Her Man. It's whole like it's like the whole like Jersey Shore, the Note vibe, where basically I had this really good friend and then I had this other really good friend, Alicia Cassandra. Alicia Cassandra hooked up with this friend's man's, okay, behind her back. I knew about it, as well as my friend Olivia. It didn't sit right in our soul, but because we didn't want to rock the boat or ruin our friendships between them, we basically went on AIM, made a fake screen name, messaged the friend and told her like, Alicia Cassandra sleeping with your mans. Like it was like a whole like note from Jersey Shore. Like who wrote the note? You two.
This is gonna be so bad.
Yeah, so that friend that I was talking about, that I ended up confessing to her that Alicia Cassandra slept with her man, that friend lived down the street from Maddie, so she would come over. It was just like a fun time, you know. That friend from down the street would have parties like all the time. Like I don't know what it was, but from Memorial Day weekend to like all the summer of freshman year, her parents just became okay with her having parties. And when I tell you parties, you guys, parties, she had sisters that were older, so their friends would come over, our friends would be there, that house would be packed, literally from the front door to the back door to the backyard. There were so many freaking people in that household when she had parties. It was absolutely crazy. So because of that, like I said, we would all just hang out. We'd go to parties together. We'd hang out at Maddie's house. Sometimes we'd hang out at my friend's house down the street. And it was just a really fun time. So this is where shit really starts to hit the fan. This kid, Roger, who actually went to a Catholic school within the town, knew Nate, and he knew a couple of our friends. And so he had said, hey guys, my parents are going away. They're not going to be here for the weekend, so I wanted to have a small get together at my house. All of us were like, oh my god, absolutely, let's do it. We set up a beer pong table. We set up a flip cup table. We were bringing bottles of Smirnoff, beer, all that stuff. And I know you guys are asking me, Dakota, how did you drink? You were like literally 15 years old. Well, we had a friend who had an older brother who knew somebody. And he basically would get alcohol for us, and we would pay him, and then we'd pay him an extra like $5, or we'd be like, come to the party with us, you know? So it was a win-win situation for everybody. And my drink of choice at the time was Smirnoff Green Apple. Every time, I can't even say that without wanting to throw up. Every time I drank my freshman year, my drink of choice was always a personal bottle of Smirnoff Green Apple. Like, are you okay? Do you need help?
Stop it. Get some help.
Do you need to check into an AA meeting? Like, I don't understand. So what happened this night was we all were having a great time. There was music playing, we were drinking, we were doing beer pong, we were doing flip cup. I remember like I literally kept winning flip cup over and over and over again, so I was like super hyped. But we were getting concerned because we were being so freaking loud, and like the neighborhood that we were in was like, I know I'm white, but like it was a white neighborhood. It was a Karen neighborhood. So we were getting concerned that somebody was gonna call the cops. So like I was being the mom and I was like, guys,
go turn down the music, or guys, you need to stop yelling, or blah, 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 blah.
I was just trying to make everybody make sure they were like calm, cool, collected, right? So I ended up getting on the table for beer pong. Now, the guy that I was with was the DD. It was the guy who got us the alcohol. We're just gonna call him Spencer, okay? So Spencer was the one who, like, basically there was a kid there who was our friend. His brother was named Spencer. Spencer would get us all the alcohol, right? Because he knew somebody older who always got him alcohol. All we had to do was give him like an extra $5. So me and Spencer were playing, but Spencer was like, I know that I have to take you guys home later, so I'm not going to drink. Very responsible. We love a responsible Spencer.
Because what I wanted to do and say to you, dear, woo!
But that meant that in beer pong, I would have to drink all of the cups. Now, what normal people do in beer pong nowadays is you put water in each and every one of the cups, and if you miss, if somebody from the opposing team gets a ball in, you take a sip of your drink, right? Not us. We used to fill our cups up with our drink of choice, whether it was vodka or whether it was tequila or whether it was beer.
Immediately no. Immediately no. Immediately no.
And that night, it was my Smirnoff vodka. So I took my Smirnoff vodka and put it in all 12 cups. We ended up losing the game. So I took essentially 12 shots. Are you okay, Dakota? Oh my fucking God.
Cut the cameras.
As you could imagine, you guys, I was so drunk, and this was like one of my first times getting that drunk. I had drank before, but I grew up in a really strict household. So if I ever drank, I really had to hide it or I had to sleep at my friend's house. Now, I also forgot to say, my friend Maddie, her parents were super chill. They did not give a shit. Like, yes, they would call and they would check in, but we were allowed to come home whenever we want to. We were allowed to go wherever we want to. We were allowed to come home drunk if we wanted to. Like, she didn't care. She would always check in and be like, where are you guys? What are you doing? Better not be getting into trouble. Better come home soon. Like, she was a good mom, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying she was very chilled and laid back. Like, she really trusted Maddie. So, and she did great in life, so obviously it was okay. But I'm just saying, she was a super freaking chill parent, and because of that, I loved sleeping there because I knew I could go out and get shit-faced and then come home and sleep there, go home the next morning. My mom would have no idea, no fucking idea whatsoever. But literally, if you grew up in a strict household, like, you know, if you were out drinking, you had your sober kit with you, right? So what I did was if I had to go home, I would have a little toothbrush with me, right? And I would like brush my teeth, put gum in there, mouthwash, the whole nine, right? I would have spray, like perfume, spray it all over my body. Sometimes I'd even bring another shirt, girl. And then, because you know when you're drinking out, sometimes the drink like spills, I would always make sure that I washed my hands here and that I washed my wrists and elbows and all of that just to make sure that it wasn't there. I would spray perfume in certain areas where I thought the alcohol might have spilled a little bit. Girl, I had it down to a system. There was this kid one time that was at a party and he was like a little freshman and he was so scared to go home because he was drinking, and I literally trained him on my techniques on how to go home sober and not get caught. Literally, you guys, I had it down to a science. But this night, I thought I was going to be able to sleep at Maddie's, but I forgot to ask my mother ahead of time. So what ended up happening is I was very, very drunk. And during the party, at some point, I end up looking over in the corner and I see Maddie and I see Nate and they're fighting. And I'm like, this isn't anything abnormal, because let me just say, Maddie treated Nate like shit. We're just gonna call a spade for what it is. Everybody said it. At first, when they got together, they were like really cute together, and like I thought that they were adorable and like so in love. But then as time went on and progressed, I saw that Maddie would treat Nate like absolute shit. She would call him a bitch all the time. She would literally call him bitch boy, okay? She would like tell him what to do. She needed a drink, she'd be like, go get me a drink. Like, she literally just like did not care, and she treated him like pretty bad. And I think that because he took it, she never thought in her head like, let me correct my behavior. You know, if someone's treating you like that, stand up for yourself, say something. If they don't change their behavior, then dip. But he never actually told her like, hey, I don't like the way that you're treating me. So obviously she's not right for doing it, but she's gonna continue because you're not telling her any different. You know what I mean? I need some water because I've been talking up a storm. This is Mio, by the way, in here. I got this tip from a TikToker to put Mio in your water to help you drink it a bit more. So like I said, I look over and I see Nate and Maddie and they're fighting and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So me being a Libra moon and being all about justice and trying to keep the peace, I go over there and I try to mediate what's happening. And basically what's happening is they're just both shit-faced. They are both belligerently drunk, okay? And because of this, they're fighting over basically absolutely nothing, okay? Nothing. So what I do is I try to take her to the side. I try to talk to her. She's crying. She's upset. She is barely even speaking English, okay? So I'm just like, okay, well, you know what? Let me go and talk to Nate. So what happens is I'm trying to find Nate. I'm looking in the bathroom. I'm looking in the basement. I can't find him. Nobody can find him, actually. And now I'm starting to get concerned because I'm like, it's Nate. What if he went walking somewhere and he's lost and he's drunk? Like, you never know. You know what I'm saying? And like, this town definitely was safe, but every town has its liabilities, right? So basically I start looking around for Nate. I don't know where he is, and I ended up going outside. And so with Roger's house is outside, there was like this brick wall. You take a left behind it and there's this backyard, but in this backyard there was not a lot of light. He had like lights like all on the side of his house, but in the backyard there wasn't a lot of light. So me, I'm going out there with my drink and I'm looking for Nate, and I turn the corner and I see him there, and he's just standing there up against the brick wall, and he just looks like a sad puppy. So I'm like, hey, like what's going on? Like, you know, you guys seem like you're doing so good lately. What's happening? And like I said, I'm trying to mediate. Now with Nate, he definitely was drunk, but he was not as drunk as Maddie. Maddie was like gone off the deep end, right? So Nate was actually really coherent. He was able to explain to me what was going on, and he basically expressed to me, I feel like she treats me like shit. She degrades me. She demasculates me all the time. And like I said, she definitely did, but he never said anything to her. So you can't expect, like, boy, stick up for yourself. Stand up.
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up. Stand up!
So he was expressing to me his concerns with him and Maddie's relationship, and I genuinely kind of started to feel bad for him. And so I'm giving him advice. We're going, you know, back and forth, just talking about the situation. And then out of nowhere, he brings up our relationship from 8th grade. And I'm just like, I'm not even gonna lie, you guys. I basically forgot about it. By then, I had dated so many other people, had gotten into other relationships. I had been on and off with Matt. We were definitely off at this time, but I definitely still was like infatuated with him. So I really forgot that me and Nate even dated. So he starts talking about our past relationship, and he just is saying things that I never in a million years thought that he would say. Let me explain. He was saying stuff like,
I feel like you're the one that got away. I never stopped loving you. And
yes, he used the word love. Do you actually love anybody when you're in 8th grade, or do you like convince yourself through love songs like Tanisha Kelly that you love them? Let me know in the comments down below. I don't know. Oh my god, I don't even want to say it. I'm literally so embarrassed to be saying this on my channel, but oh my god, I tell all these stories about other people, all the crazy stuff they did to me. It is only fair if I give myself the same accountability talk. So I don't know if it was the drinks. I don't know if it's because I was drunk. I don't know if it's because, honest to God, I look back and I'm like, Dakota, you were a horrible fucking person. You were a horrible human being. But oh god, I didn't want to say it. I'm literally so embarrassed. I don't know what happens, but somehow our lips end up colliding and we start making out. Guys, oh my god, I never wanted to tell this story. This was gonna be a story that literally stayed burned in my memory forever. I'm literally so fucking embarrassed right now. I was a Cassie. I was literally giving Cassie vibes. I had the blonde hair. I had everything. I was literally Cassie. So oh god, yeah, so that starts happening. And then in the middle of it, I'm like, I back up and I'm like, hold up. This is my best friend's boyfriend. This is one of my best friend's boyfriends. What are you doing, Dakota? What the fuck are you doing? Just because a guy tells you that he's reminiscing about your freaking 8th grade memories of you two being together 2 weeks when he had an arm cast on, literally because he broke his arm. Like, really, you're gonna use that as a moment of weakness and do that to your best friend? You are a horrible person. You're a horrible person. Point blank, period, chapter's done, case closed, story's over. You're a horrible person. Back up immediately and I'm like, we can't do this. I was like, we can't do this. I was like, what are we doing? And he's like,
no, it's okay. Like, you don't understand. I still have so much feelings for you. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm
like, Nate, we can't do this. I was like, Maddie is right inside. Like, we cannot do this. It's not something we could do. In the middle of us having this like debacle, Roger, the house owner, comes and sees us. And like I said, like in this backyard, you had like there was like a brick wall, you turned a corner, and there was like a little bit of light, and we were in like the non-lit areas. So it looked shady because it was shady. And he's like, what are you guys doing? And I was just like, oh, nothing. I was looking for Nate and I couldn't find him. And he's like, y'all have been gone. We were gone for like 20 minutes, okay? No, we were not making out the whole time. We were just talking. We really were. We were just talking about just the whole relationship. I like to think that I'm a therapist when I'm drunk. Like literally I had a situation 2 months ago where my friend and her girlfriend were arguing, and this was my first time ever meeting her, and I was like, can I just pull her aside and talk to her and see what the problem is? And like I literally pulled her aside and we talked for 20 minutes about all of her like traumas and this and that. And like I think that I am like just a therapist when I'm drunk, and I'm not. I'm Dakota. I am Dakota. Any hoosers. So I feel like, oh my god, he's gonna tell Maddie. So I need to go tell her. I need to go tell her before somebody else does. Yes, she's going to hate me, but at least it's coming from somebody else. I mean, at least it's coming from her best friend and not somebody else. But then I was like, I can't tell her because she's literally incoherent right now. She's so drunk. Like I literally went downstairs to go check on her, and she was like balled up in a corner, just like on her phone texting. And I'm like, Maddie, what are you doing? And she's like, I just want to go home. And I was like, okay, no problem. Let's go home. So my plan was to tell her the next day. Now, let me remind you, I thought my mom was going to let me sleep at her house, okay? So my mother was actually at a party with my stepdad. It was for his nephew's like going away party or something like that, right? So they were at that party, and so I thought, oh, they're drinking. This is perfect. They're going to let me be able to go home with Maddie and sleep at her house. I can sleep this off. Tomorrow morning I could tell my best friend and she can hate me, but then I can go home and I can peace out and I'll be fine. I won't be in trouble, nothing like that. Well, this night, my mother, I was arguing with her because she was not letting me sleep at Maddie's house. And I think that she knew in her soul that I was drunk. Like she just had like that mom radar. She knew something was up. And I'm telling you right now, like she just knew something was up because she was like, nope, absolutely you're not. I'm picking you up at this time at her house and you better be there. So I'm just like, how am I going to get myself together, you guys? I was so drunk. Like I said, I had essentially taken 12 shots because all of the cups were filled with Smirnoff Green Apple. Every time I say that, I literally want to puke. Smirnoff Green Apple. Therefore, because we lost, I basically took 12 shots. 12 shots. I wouldn't even do something like that now. Who the fuck does that? So we start driving home, and you guys... we start driving home, and I don't know why. Oh, by the way, we're driving home, and he's not only driving me home and Maddie home, but he's driving Nate home too. So I had kind of like forgotten about Nate. I'm just like, I need to go find my best friend, make sure she's okay. So we're in the car, and tell me why when we're in the car, he is texting me, you guys. He's texting me while we're in the car talking about,
I want to be with you. I think this happened for a reason. I think that we were meant to end up here so we can come back together stronger.
Let me remind you, at this point, he and Maddie have been dating for 3 months. And I know that doesn't seem like anything, but back in the day, rude. Back in the day, 3 months was a long time. Like, y'all were damn near married if you were dating for 3 months. Just like, you have a whole ass girlfriend right here. Like, what are you talking about? In no way, shape, or form was I like, okay, we're gonna be together now, like F Maddie, I don't give a shit about her. No, it was not like that at all. Like I definitely was like, I can't believe I just did this shit. Literally to like one of my best friends. Texting me all this, Maddie's in the back and she's like crying, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I know that I'm about to get my ass whooped because I know for a fact that my mother's gonna know I'm drunk. There's no concealing it. And I think that there was so many like conflicting emotions within me, and like I'm a Pisces, and when that stuff happens, we just need to like run away somewhere. I literally opened the door while we were at a stop sign in the middle of the road and tried to get out.
Where's the bitch?
Where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? Why was I doing that? What was I thinking? What was actually going through this mind? Like, who gave me alcohol? Like, who told me I could be drinking like that at 15 years old? Not me. So like, everyone gets me back into the car and we go to Maddie's house and I'm pleading with my mom. Like, Mom, I'm so tired. Please, like, I'm literally about to fall asleep. Please just let me stay here. I'll get a ride home in the morning. You don't even have to come get me. Like, I was trying to pull every trick in the book to let my mother let me stay there. And she was like, no, Dakota, absolutely not. I'll be there in 2 minutes. So I knew that she knew that I was drunk. So I knew that I was fucked. Like, literally, I knew that I was fucked. I go home, I get Maddie in bed, I give her some water, I make sure she's okay, and I tell her that I'll text her tomorrow if I'm alive. Pending results. Results are pending, okay? Results may vary. So I get in the car with my mom. She's pissed. She knows I'm drunk. She's like, you literally reek like alcohol. What is wrong with you? Because when I was at this like family party with them, I told them that I was going to hang out with Maddie, but I didn't say like where we were going, what we were doing. They thought that I was just at her house the whole damn time. I didn't cover my tracks correctly at all, okay? So basically, I just knew that I was in trouble. My mom was like, give me your phone. Like, that was the one thing my mom did every single time I got in trouble. Like, I knew kids who got grounded, but they were able to have their phones still. My mom took everything. She would take away the TV, she would take away the phone, she would take away like everything, okay? The only thing that I was allowed to do was like open my window and look outside and see the sun, okay? Like, when I was grounded, I was grounded, okay? So she's like asking for my phone and I don't know why, but I was not willing to give it up. And that's how you know I was drunk, because I did not ever once dare to be ballsy with my mother, because my mother did not play, okay? Like, she did not play. Like, she disciplined us, okay? So I was just like, no, you're not getting this phone. If you want this phone, you're gonna have to pry it out of my hand.
I don't want to. You can wait 20 more minutes if you want to go with me.
I literally, you guys, I don't know what took over me. It was not Dakota, it was Sasha. If you don't know who Sasha is my drunk alter ego. When I get drunk, everything that crazy or bad that happens, we blame it on Sasha, okay? So Sasha was full present in that moment, and my mom was so mad at me. She was like, I'll turn your phone light off. And I was like, I wish you would. She dead ass turned my phone line off, you guys. She dead ass turned my phone line off. No text messages, nothing. So I'm just like, oh my God, like, my phone got taken away. You guys, I was so drunk. I threw up in my bed. I threw up in my bed. It was my first time, like, it wasn't my first time drinking, but it was my first time getting like drunk, you know? And like, I'd been too scared to let myself get drunk before, because my mom liked to pull a thing where she would let me sleep somewhere, but then she'd be like, I have a bad feeling, I want to come pick you up. Like, I had a bad dream, I want to come pick you up. Like, she was infamous for that shit. She was infamous for telling me I could do something and then retracting it and be like, nope, never mind, I'm coming to pick you up. So I was always so terrified to let myself get drunk, because God forbid. And there were so many nights where she would do that, but like, she would let me go somewhere, but I'd be afraid that she was gonna retract it, or be afraid that she was gonna be like, yeah, no, never mind, sorry, like, I'm coming to get you. That I wouldn't drink that much. And those nights I was fine. And I'd be like mad the next morning. I'd be like, damn, I could have drank more. This one night I'm like, there's no way. She's drinking, she's getting lit with my stepdad, they're at a family party, they'll be there all night. There's no way she's gonna want to come get me. Fucking wrong, bitch, wrong. Next morning I woke up with the worst hangover of my life, okay? The worst hangover. I felt horrible. I was constantly throwing up, and like, I walked into the living room and she's like, how do you feel? And I was like, not so good. It's like, where were you? Why were you that drunk? She wanted to call Roger's parents and everything, and I literally had to sit there and beg and plead with her to not. And she was like, well, since you didn't want to give me your phone line is off. It'll be off until further notice, and sorry, but you should have given me your phone. You shouldn't have been drunk. I'm getting the whole 5-degree burn, okay? Since my phone line was off, I couldn't tell Maddie about what happened. And so I did not know, you guys, if she knew about it. I didn't know if she was aware. I don't know if Nate told her anything. I know nothing. You guys have to realize this was literally the worst case scenario for me. I literally just made out with my best friend's boyfriend, and now I wake up the next day hungover as shit. My phone line's off. I have no access to anything. It was literally like I was on lockdown. I couldn't go on the internet, couldn't do anything. So I had no idea if she knew. So I'm like, when I walk into school on Monday, am I gonna get my ass beat? So Monday morning comes, I get up, I get ready. I'm like literally so nervous, because I don't know what's gonna happen when I walk into school. By the way, haven't seen Nate either. And I had 2 classes with him. So that was going to be super awkward. God just like knew. Dakota, one day you're going to be a story time teller, and I know that this seems really shitty right now, but I need to give you content. So in order to give you character development, to make you into who I need you to be, I need to give you these stories. I go into school, and actually me and Maddie had homeroom together. So I brace myself, I walk in, and she goes, oh my god, hey girl, what happened to you? And I'm like, girl, my mom turned my phone line off. Like when she came to pick me up from your house, I was drunk and she was pissed, and she was like, oh my god, that sucks. Are you serious? I can't believe she did that. And she was like, what happened? Like, I don't even know what happened. Like, everybody is telling me like all different stories. Apparently me and Nate were fighting. And I was like, yeah girl, you and Nate were fighting, and you know, you guys like just were going like back and forth, and then he disappeared, and I went to go find him. And she was like, oh my god, yeah, like someone told me you went to go find him and he was like in the back somewhere. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, you know, we talked about it, and like I don't even know what we were fighting about. Neither of us literally remember anything. Like, I don't know, it was just a drunken crazy night, girl. She's like, you know what though, like whatever, like it is what it is, you know. I guess I know just like not to drink so much next time. You guys, she had no idea. She had, and I trust me, I knew my friend, and I know myself, and I know energy. She had no idea, which made this even worse, okay? Even fucking worse. So that happens, and I get through homeroom, and my heart is just like, part of me is like, oh my god, thank god she doesn't know, and the other part of me is like, Dakota, you have to tell her. You can't be a shitty friend like that and let this go to the grave, okay? So I don't know what to do. I'm going throughout my day. I end up having class with Nate, but we really don't talk. We don't really say much to each other. But I will say that before my mom turned my phone line off, I guess Nate had been texting me, and he was texting me a bunch of stuff, like how he still loves me and he wants us to be together and like yada yada yada. So he was sending me a bunch of love notes, okay, through my phone before my mother turned my line off. So me and Nate don't really say too much to each other. Honestly, I think we both were just like not even knowing what the hell to say to one another. I think that he thought I was mad at him or something, because nobody knew that my phone line was off, guys, okay? So a couple days later, my mom ends up turning it on, and she's like, listen, if you ever in your life don't give me your phone when I tell you to, you're not going to see the light of day. Not only are you not going to see the light of day, but I will keep your phone off until you make enough money to turn it back on, because next time it's going to be $100. $100 when you're in high school is like $3,000. Like, literally, you know how many Quiznos shifts I would have had to work to get my phone line turned back on? A lot, bitch, okay? Also, when I get it turned on, all of these text messages start coming in, which I think back in the day AT&T did, but I don't know if they do it now. But apparently all the texts that you were supposed to get through your phone ends up coming through once it's turned back on. So once I turned it back on, I was getting text messages from Nate, like literally every single day, being like, why aren't you talking to me? What's going on? What did I do? I don't understand. Can we at least just still be friends? Can you please just talk to me? I really want to work this out. And I'm just like mind blown, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm still hungover. Like, literally, I'm still hungover. I ended up talking to Nate, and I'm like, listen, what happened on Saturday was a mistake. We were very drunk. We were in the moment. You were reminiscing on some feelings. I was like, I don't even think you really do have feelings for me. I think you were just drunk. We're young. Sometimes alcohol makes us do that. I said, let's just forget about it. Let's move forward. You're with my best friend. This isn't appropriate. And we need to act like this never happened. He would not let it go. He was like, no, I like you. I want to be with you. I'm claiming this Dakota. We don't claim this Cassie, okay? So I was just like, you're right. I definitely did feel a little something, but I said it was wrong. It doesn't matter what we felt. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter how I feel. It matters how Maddie feels. And I said, you make her happy. Stay with her. Let's pretend this never happened. So that was my solution. And instead of telling her and breaking her heart, I wanted them to stay together. Okay? I wanted them to stay together and have us pretend this never happened. Well, how do you think that turned out? Not very great. So what ended up happening is they break up. And I don't... It was because of me. It was because of me, because he told my best friend that he broke up with her for me. But I never asked him to. I literally told him no. I was like, we cannot do anything. Like, you were with my best friend. Please stay with her. You guys make each other happy. You're super adorable. Please leave me out of this. But he refused, you guys. He literally would not take no for an answer. So he ends up breaking up with her, and he tells like one of my best friends. So we'll call her Lexi because we're using Euphoria names, right? So he tells my best friend Lexi, he's like, Lexi, can you please help me? He was like, I am in love with Dakota. I don't know what it is, but I realized it over this weekend. And he's like, Lexi, please, I want to be with Dakota so bad. Cassie. So bad. He was like, I literally left Maddie in order to be with her. Like, she won't even give me a chance because of Maddie. Like, I don't understand. Can you please just talk to her? She's like, Maddie can't even be mad because me and her used to date first. Like, all of this stuff. All of my friends who were also cool with Maddie. It's just so fucked up. We're telling me to go for it. They were like, Dakota, he's so cute. He likes you so much. He would do anything in order to be with you. Like, can you please just be with him? Like, he really likes you. And I know you like him too. And I'm like, you guys, it's Maddie's boyfriend. Well, now ex-boyfriend. But I was like, I can't do that to her. That's so fucked up. And I don't know why, but and I don't even know how this happened. I want to say maybe he told her. She didn't know about what had happened that night, but she knew that he liked me. Like, I guess he had told her that he had feelings for me, and I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you do that? Because now it looks like something happened. And also now it looks like I'm a horrible friend, which I was. But I'm like, why would you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? What is actually wrong with you? Like, the hamster wheel is spinning, but the hamster fell off a long time ago.
If 2 + 2 is 4, right? And 5 + 5 is 10. Okay. What the fuck is this?
So he's basically just like, I had to tell her because she needs to leave me alone and realize that you're the one for me and that I like you. Maybe if she knows, like, it'll be easier. And I'm like, nothing's easier because we're not going to be together. You guys, I refuse. I had so many people, his friends, even people in his family, my friends being like, girl, just go for it. Who cares? And I'm like, no, I can't do that to my friend, which is why I'm saying I was kind of a Cassie, but kind of not because of, you know, the way that I was trying to stand up for the situation. So it even gets to one point where Cassie was just like, literally hates me. Like, he refuses to talk to me. He's telling me that he hates me because I ruined his chances of being with you. This is what I'm saying. This thing is like so confusing. Like, how did it go to them being together, to them breaking up, to him liking me and telling her that he liked me, and then her knowing about it, but her not being mad about it? Like, I just was like, I don't understand. Like, how are you not upset about this? Because I would be upset. Like, yeah, I even told him, like, I don't care that he can be with you, that I'll help him, like, be with you if that's what he really wants, but he still hates me. And I was like, Maddie, I would never do that to you. I would never do that to you. Like, I am not going to be with him. It's just not happening. It would be messed up. And that's what I told him. And he would text me all the time, like, asking me to hang out, asking me to give him a chance. And you guys, literally, like, left and right, I was curving him. I was not answering his text messages, nothing, because I was like, I can't. I want to say 2 months after this happened, Maddie actually ended up getting in a new relationship, and even then he was like, see, Maddie's in a new relationship, let's just try this out. And I kept telling him no because I just felt bad. It felt icky if I like was going to be with him, you know? So fast forward some time, the summer comes and goes, me and Maddie are still great friends. I still never told her I'm a horrible person, and she ends up actually getting a new boyfriend. They actually get acclimated pretty quick. She ends up like literally falling super head over heels in love with him, and they're like a great match together, right? So about, I want to say 8 or 9 months have passed. By this point, this boy is over me completely. Like, we don't even talk. We're like barely even like friends. But it's weird because he's actually friends with a lot of the people in that group. So basically when him and Maddie got together, Maddie introduced him to this whole group of friends, and he stayed friends with them. So he basically has those friends because of Maddie. So now the dynamics have just like completely shifted, and he actually ends up becoming like a little bit, like, I don't want to say like popular, but like more popular than he was, okay? So he's like the star of the wrestling team. He's a great wrestler. He's really talented, really, really good. And he is really smart. He gets good grades, things like that. And I don't know what it was, but this always happened to me in high school where somebody would be like infatuated with me. They'd want me so bad, and I would want nothing to do with them. And then 2 months later, or however much time had passed later, I would be like, damn, I'm kind of starting to like them. I wish that I would have taken that opportunity. And then I would get sad. And Nate was no difference. Yes, is it technically wrong? Because like I said, he dated my best friend. Absolutely. But after a while, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should have given him a chance. He was a really nice guy. Like, what could have been, like X, Y, and Z. All my friends were in relationships at this point. I was the only single one. Not much has fucking changed. I start reminiscing on what could have been, and it makes me really sad because he was such a sweet guy, and I feel like we would have been so good together. And I'm just like, girl, like what the F was wrong with you? Why didn't you take the opportunity? Completely negating that I would have been so messed up because of Maddie. Like, I'm just, okay, I turned into Cassie again, basically. So let me tell you what happened. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm really talking about this on camera. So winter comes and I start to miss him, and so I end up texting him and I'm like, hey, can we talk? It's Dakota. No response. Couple weeks later pass, I end up texting him again. Hey, it's Dakota. Wondering if you got my last text messages. Can we talk? No response. So I'm like, he must absolutely positively hate me. So I ended up resorting to Facebook because I'm like, I need to get a hold of this man. Like back then I put so much of my energy into like what it is that I wanted instead of what it is that I needed. And if anybody's in high school right now and watching this, stop putting your energy into boys and relationships and start putting it into your studies, your extracurriculars, build up your resume for when you go to school, get a part-time job, like do something. Don't be like me, don't be a Cassie. It didn't end up turning out to anything good, but it makes for good content, so I guess it did. And I messaged him on Facebook and I'm like, hey, how are you? And he responds immediately. He's like, hey, ... Weird, I didn't think I'd ever hear from you again. I'm good, how are you? And I was like, oh, well, I've actually been trying to reach out to you via text message because I've been wanting to talk to you about something and you haven't been responding. And he's like, oh yeah, my phone broke weeks ago, it hasn't been working. I'm actually gonna go to Verizon and get a new one in a couple of days. So that's probably why this happened. And by the way, remember that friend Kat I told you about that was like, oh my god, Dakota, you should just be with him? I had been talking with her this whole entire time about how I had feelings for him and that I wish I would have gone for it, and I wish, you know, he would like me now, but I don't think he's going to because I dubbed him so much. And she was like, girl, I don't feel bad for you, you're stupid, I told you give him a chance a million times, you didn't want to, like your course has come and gone, you could try. But she's like, I highly doubt that he's gonna like be interested, you know? I didn't know anybody directly that was like super close with him, so like I couldn't ask them. It was a lot, okay? Wait. Oh my god, I dated his cousin. Oh, wait, oh my god, I'm so sorry, but this is a pivotal part of the story. I remember this summer. Oh my god, this is gonna have to be a part 2. You guys, I'm so sorry. I literally forgot about this importante information, but I met his cousin over the summer. His cousin was so fine, like chef's kiss, literally so gorgeous. And I met him and we talked for a little bit, and I remember that, oh my god, Nate found it out and he was so mad at me. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, you guys. This is gonna have to be a part 2 because I have to tell that story before I tell this one, because this happened during the summer and then the winter came and then I was texting him asking if we could talk. So I have to tell all of that before I talk about how I became a Cassie again. But let me just tell you what's to come, okay? Basically what had happened was I got in contact with him and I was asking for him back, and he basically was like, I don't know, and then we started talking again, and then Maddie started telling me how she was going to reach out to Nate because she wanted to get back together with him, you guys. And when I was in her house when she sent him that text message, meanwhile I was with him. You guys, the story literally, like, you thought this was fucking juicy, the tea was piping in this, just wait till you hear this one. Like, please forgive me, but it has to be a part 2. Otherwise, I'm gonna be here for 5 hours. I know you guys like long videos, but I think over an hour is just excessive. So we're gonna end this here as a cliffhanger. Please don't kill me. I promise to get this part out too, like ASAP. If you guys enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and also leave a comment down below. Let me know if you were ever a Cassie. I know you guys are like, oh my god, you weren't really a Cassie, all you did was like make out with her boyfriend, but like, no, you guys, me and him, like, we're together after a while, and I didn't know that she still liked him and wanted to be with him. And when she asked him, me and him were already guys, it's so fucking messy. I was unintentionally a Cassie in round 2, but Oh my god, okay. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I was so messy in high school. I was so messy in high school. That's why my life is so calm now, because I lived that shit. I was 21 when everybody else was 15. But anyway, please like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you ever were Cass-E'd or were a Cass-E. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, Sis Let's Heal, on all streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media, especially TikTok. I have really been blowing up over there lately, and I appreciate and love all of the support. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Come through and chill. Just say you will.